Hello everyone. Today we'll be drawing my favorite actor, or one of my favorite actors in Peaky Blinders, Cillian Murphy. It's a nice picture I've chosen. You'll see at the end. Okay. Now, in this case, all about working on famous people or actors. Most important thing is likeness at this stage, and having a good portrait as well. But likeness. So let's go and concentrate on likeness. First of all, that's the beginning of the portrait of the head. Actually, the head, it's slightly cut by the format of the picture. So the top of the head, we don't see it, but we do see the face, and you have an angle here. And then you have the skull here, which is quite shaved, and you can easily see his skull. Now, there's an angle of his eyebrows up here, comes down there. His hair comes right at the top or very close to the eyebrow, and then you have the end, so jumping from one to the other. That's my method, basically, just jumping here and just checking, constantly checking the angles here. And I've got another angle here of the jaw, eyebrow coming down. You got the eye cavity here. Then you got the other eye, his left eye. And then nose, tip of the nose, base of the nose. And then a characteristic of him, of Cillian Murphy, is that there's a distance between the end of the nose, the base of the nose, and the upper lip. And it's slightly open lip. It's like he's looking at something. It's very distracted there. And then you have his neck and his the collar. Then you have, there's a flat area here, the back of his skull, and there's another angle here, and the neck. So we have an angle of about 50 degrees here, and we have another angle about 15 here, roughly, okay, roughly. And then you have the chin goes flat here. Then you have the lower lip and eyebrow, eye cavity, and his hair. Hair goes almost at the same vertical line as his forehead, eyebrow, and then you have the hair. Goes off the mark here, of the camera, basically. And then he's got that famous haircut, quite dark here, and a flick of hair here, and a dark. Okay. Then you have his cheekbone. And it's very characteristic of Cillian. He's got very pronounced cheekbones, very, and a side of his face, which is this. And then the end of his top of the ear is on the lower part of the eye. Top of the ear, it's on the lower part of the eye. Eyelid. And the ear is almost parallel to that, parallel to that line of the end of his skull. And then the end of the ear, it's just between the end of the nose and upper lip. And darker. And also darker. Now, characteristic of ceiling as well is that there's distance, more distance between the end of the nose to the lip, but also the chin, it's quite small in comparison. So the chin could go up a little bit. And cheekbone, quite pronounced cheekbone. And end of the nose, flat. Oh, I consider it, or I am considering it as flat. It's not flat, obviously. The eyebrow, there's an angle of the eyebrow. And the end of the eye. Upper eyelid, he's looking on his left or on our right. So that's the eye, his left eye, and his right eye here. Upper eyelid, dark, and the eyebrow. And the end of the mouth, it's a vertical line from the eye to the end of the mouth. This side, dipped here, and you got the upper lip, not lid, lower lip. And another characteristic of ceiling is pronounced cheekbone and eyebrows. Not that they're thick, is that it's just there's a quite wide here, that distance between one eye, from one eyebrow to the other. So it's quite pronounced, that as well. Give them a darker tone on the eyebrows. And the ear, as we said, probably the ear needs to go a little bit more to the left. Turn the camera a little bit more to the left. Slightly moving it up, so I can have you look at the whole image. Okay, so let's get back onto the, as we said, eyebrow a little bit more, and then you have the eye cavity coming, starting from here. I think the nose needs to drop a little bit down. I'll drop the nose a bit down, then use the nostril here. That's the base of the nose. It's a bit longer than what I've done. Drop a little bit the other nostril of the nose. The eye needs to be a bit bigger. So you see, I'm kind of committed a little bit more now onto a really detailed approach to the portrait, and it's all about, as I said earlier on, all about the likeness. So here, if I can use a little bit of the background here, darker background, to highlight that area which is light of the cheekbone. Here I can get a little bit wider, that side of the face here, on the left hand side, his left hand side. And then you have the chin coming down, there with the mouth, which is a little bit drops here, down there, then you have the lips, separating the lips, separation of the lips. As I said earlier on, a vertical line from the eye goes right down to the edge of the lip there, and there's a middle tone here because I left it too light. That's the shadow under the nose, under the lower lip, and this eye looks like he's looking up. It's like actually he's looking sideways. So down here, lower the gaze a little bit more. And the whole area, as I said earlier, sorry about that, it's a little bit darker. And this side of the face, now that's the jaw, which is kind of on the same angle as this. It's the side of an ear. Then drop the jaw down here, and there. I mean, I'm getting that darkness, but it's not only that it's side plane of his face, it's also stubble, hair. Of course he's shaved now, but still the color of the hair shaved gets or makes that side of the face a little bit darker. Now here we got the ear again. And I better get a little bit more so you can see what I'm actually working on here. Turn the camera and side of his neck itself. Okay, I think I've got most features there. But what it feels that I've gone a bit too far up with this. So I'll check on the model, on the face, on the picture I have. And that results that chin to the eyebrow. It's eyebrow, okay, chin to the end of the eye. Yeah, so from the chin to the upper eyelid is the same as the upper eyelid to the end of the ear. Hair. Okay, not too bad, just a little bit lower. So lower that, yes, that's better. Okay, now let's work a little bit with the hair. First of all, I'm going to introduce kind of different tool today. It's a wooden handle with some sponge. So take some dust and then work with the edge of the dust here. And I can spread the darkness of all the marks that I've done with the charcoal and then merge them together. Here is his shaved head. That's the skull. And that's the end of his skull again. That's his neck. Then turn the other side of the sponge, because I don't want to get too dark here, and then get those darks, but middle tones, not too dark. And the side of his, the cheek here. And here as well. And middle tone here. Working on middle tone. Middle tone in between the eyebrows. Middle tone under the hair. on the forehead, darker tone here, a darker tone here, darker tone here as well, darker tone. That makes the part of the cheek a little bit darker here, side of the face. And his chin, which is short, so it was down here before. I've lifted up a little bit, like half a centimeter, and then that creates more of a side of his face, the side of his face. He's got an eye bag because of the role he's playing. He's tired and he's exhausted. Yeah. I think I'm going to be too dark here with that shadow, so I'm lifting up some darks here. And I better get some putty rubber. So some putty rubber. Take some of the dust with my putty rubber, lift some of the darks, and instead of going with putty rubber here, that will be too much of a lift. So look, I didn't need it to go too bright. It would have been too much. And use the putty. Clean the sponge. That's safer. Otherwise, you will go too bright too soon. And then get the same here. Use my putty rubber. Clean this the sponge and lift some of the darks here as well on his shaved skull, and light here. I'm blending that side of his neck with a little bit of background. There we are. So I can play around here with the hair a little bit, give him some highlights. Some highlights here. Highlight. It makes the hair looks also a little bit more natural. And a little bit lighter here as well. That brings the skull a little bit closest to us. By lightening this area, it brings the skull a bit closest to us. Okay, getting those sharp of the putty rubber, sharp edge. Bring the hair down a little bit more. Hair down a little bit more. And make it look a little bit more, also a bit more organic. There. clear those darks here on the back, on the ground here, on the plain paper. Get those darks out. So, lighter where the forehead is. Lighter here. And light on the forehead here. And that will give me a bit more cheekbone. The drop of the nose, which I've done earlier on. And upper eyelid, lower eyelid, white of the eye, which is not even white, it's kind of colored. A bit grey, and the lower lip. Okay, so that was the structure basically. What I need to work on now is with the likeness. Get involved more with the likeness. And work closely and not dismiss little turns, twists and turns of his face. Like for instance here, we've said that there are wider cheekbones, so I need to keep that in mind constantly and check with the original image. How close am I to the original image? Here, I think that dust was not too effective. I'll try again, lift some darks here, but I think at this stage I can even use my finger here. Yeah, that's a lot more effective in the end. And then forehead, lighten it up, brighten it up a little bit more. Forehead again, hairline. I think I've gone a bit too far with this now, so I better turn it down here. The skull, I think I've gone too far, too much to the left, so I'm trimming it down. It feels better now. And then the top of the ear is right under, at the same distance, same altitude as the end of the ear. So right there. And then the ear cartilage. And then the end of the ear is on the top of his upper lip. So top of the upper lip, we've got the end, or the beginning of the ear, if you like. There. Skull. Again, working on the cheekbone. I think I need to go and get some dust with my fingers. And do that eye bag. So you need to push the eye more to the left. I think these two are too close. So a bit more, push the eye more to the left. Let's push the eye here. There, that's better. Up eyelid. I mean the eyebrow, a bit darker. Nose, nostril here. Keep that side of the nose. Give it a bit of a darker tone, especially here between the bone structure and the nostril. I think I'll go faster now because there's not much I can talk to. It's just mumbling. So I'll go faster now so you can see the process anyway. You'll be following me.